Right, we're just days away from getting our hands on the new M4 MacBook Pros, and let me tell you, if you're thinking about grabbing an M3 right now, don't. Seriously, would be the worst move you could make. We've all seen those leaked base models of the M4 MacBook Pro already. Somehow a couple of them slipped through and ended up with YouTubers, but even with that, there is still a ton to unpack about this M4 lineup. Remember when the M3 drop was, well, kind of a meh? This time it's different, way different. Same price though. Okay, so the leak itself is a few weeks old, and let's ignore the sketchy stuff like the fact that the wallpapers in the box are still the same as the M3. What matters is the actual changes. First up, the base M4 MacBook Pro is coming with 16 gigs of RAM by default. Finally, Apple's cut up and realized 8 gigs doesn't cut it anymore. No more juggling apps or worrying about memory. This is a big win. Another cool upgrade, this entry-level M4 Mac will have 3 Thunderbolt ports now. Yeah, 3. That's one more than the M3. And it's not just any port, it's Thunderbolt 4, which means way faster speeds. Honestly though, for most people it won't be a game changer, and the storage still starts at 512 gigs. Classic Apple move there. Now, here's the part that burns me out. No visual changes. I know it's a bit of a letdown, the design has been the same since 2021, and personally I think it's time for a refresh. But nope, based on the leaks, the base M4 Macs will look exactly like the current models. The only change is that the space black color option will finally be available on the entry-level MacBook Pro. It's a super slick color, and I'm glad they're making it more accessible. As for the 14 and 16-inch ones with M4 Pro and M4 Max, don't get your hopes up for any design overhaul. Apple probably won't touch those either, but hey, remember when they dropped the M1 Pro and still kept the M1 13-inch in the old design for a while? If they play the same game this year, that could be the moment to finally upgrade. Well, I get it. Everyone's been hyped, hoping Apple would finally shake things up with the MacBooks. I mean, even just a smaller notch would be a win, and those Face ID rumors, man, those have been around for ages. It would be amazing to finally see it happen, but if I'm being real here, the chances of that are like 0. And let's not even get started on the OLED displays. We've all been waiting, especially after seeing the insane screen quality on the new iPad Pro. It got everyone's hopes up, but then boom, reality check. According to some reports, OLED MacBooks won't be a thing until at least 2025, and then you've got other reports saying it might not even happen until 2027. That's a huge bummer because look, OLED is leagues ahead of mini LED. If you've ever watched a movie in a dark room in a current MacBook Pro, you've probably noticed that halo effect around bright areas, especially during the credits. That's because mini LED uses zones to light up the screen, and while it's cool tech, it just can't match the precision of OLED, where each pixel lights up independently. With OLED, the colors would pop even more and the brightness would be next level. It's something we need, but Apple's timeline not exactly giving us hope. And speaking of displays, don't expect any brightness upgrades with the M4 Max. The M3 did boost brightness by 100 nits, which sure sounds nice until you remember that third-party apps like Vivid already let you max out the brightness beyond what Apple allows by default. So looking at the leaked M4 models, it seems like this year there is no brightness bump coming either. It's the same XDR mini LED display all over again. You know which part of these laptop upgrades we never really care about? The upgraded Wi-Fi. Even though it's a gate to the internet, though when on the internet we rarely think about privacy either. That's where a VPN comes in. Basically, a VPN, or virtual private network, is like a private tunnel for your internet traffic. It hides your IP address, encrypts your data, and makes sure your online activity stays private, even on public Wi-Fi. And personally, I've been using Mysterium VPN for a while now, and I'm loving it. Mysterium VPN isn't your run-of-the-mill service. It's a next-gen, decentralized VPN, which means it's powered by over 20,000 users worldwide and connects you to 135 countries. One of the best things that it lets me do is watch my favorite shows, even if they're unavailable in my region. I just change the location, and boom, available again. And it also saves me money, especially when I book stuff online. Sometimes the prices for hotels and flights are different for different regions you're connecting from. In such cases, I just switch to different one and save a penny here and there. Plus, Mysterium's got my back with military-grade encryption, so all my online activities stay locked down and secure. It's not just about streaming content or unlocking geo-blocked sites. It's about having total digital freedom and security, knowing no one's spying on my data. And the timing couldn't be better because Black Friday is almost here, and they're offering 27% off all their subscription plans. Perfect time to level up your online privacy. The link is in the description. Use the code CYBER and score this deal while you can. You won't regret it. Yeah, it really seems like Apple is all in on boosting performance this year, hoping that it will be enough to get people to upgrade. And honestly, it's working. These performance gains are seriously tempting. Let's be real, the M3 was solid, but it was more of a gap year chip for Apple, a stepping stone. They made the jump to 3nm, but it felt more like a whisper than the big bang it should have been. We actually have a great video breaking down their whole chip strategy, so check that out when you can. Bottom line, the M4 is what the M3 should have been. Now, with the M4, those gains are way more noticeable. So on Geekbench, the base M4 chip scored 27% more than M3 for single core and 31% more for multi-core. The M4 has a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU, which lines up with what we're seeing in the iPad Pro's M4 chip. The M3 had just 8 CPU cores and the same 10 GPU cores. So the bump is noticeable. And this gives us a good idea of what's coming with the M4 and M4 Max chips in terms of cores and performance. Now, if we look at the M3 Pro, it has either 11 or 12 CPU cores, split into 2 clusters, 5 or 6 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores, with the base M4 stepping up to 10 cores. It makes sense that Apple will bump up the core count for the M4 Pro as well. Having 12 cores in a bin version of the chip might feel off, so my guess, we're looking at the M4 Pro packing either 13 or 14 cores, probably something like 6 efficiency cores and the rest being performance cores. That step up would make a lot of sense and give the M4 Pro a nice performance boost over the M3 Pro. Right, so if we're talking about the M4 Max, I expect the jump to be pretty similar to what we're seeing with the base and Pro models. The M3 Max currently has 14 and 16 CPU cores, 4 efficiency cores, and 10 or 12 performance cores. For comparison, the M2 Max had a 12-core setup with 2 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. So with the M4 Max, I'm predicting they will not only increase the performance cores, but also add to the efficiency cores. My guess, 6 efficiency cores and 14 performance cores, giving us a total of 20 cores. Now just imagine the kind of performance we get with that config, especially when the single core M4 is already clocking in 27% faster than the M3. I don't want to get carried away with numbers, but what we're about to see is going to be insane. All that power packed into a laptop. Of course, let's not forget about the GPU. Apple tends to add a few more GPU cores each year. The M2 Pro and M2 Max head up to 19 and 38 GPU cores, while the M3 Pro and M3 Max went with 18 and 40 cores. Yeah, I know, the numbers don't line up perfectly on the M3 Pro, but stay with me. If Apple boosts the CPU core count on the M4 Pro, it's almost certain they will give it more GPU cores too, probably up to 20. And as for the M4 Max, I'd bet we'll see it hit at least 42 cores. But here's the exciting part. The GPU performance gains aren't just about cramming in more cores. If you check out the Geekbench metal scores for the M4's 10-core GPU, you'll see it's about 16% faster than the M3's 10-core. That shows the M4 Pro and M4 Max could deliver even bigger gains, not just because of the extra cores, but due to some serious optimization. So yeah, this year the M4 lineup is all about performance, more cores, better efficiency, and the full potential of that 3nm process. It's a big leap. I'm honestly counting down the days until I can get my hands on one because my M1 Pro 16-inch is starting to feel like it's begging for an upgrade, and I'm working on a video all about it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.